Hey guys, hope you are all having a great weekend. Today's video is going to be very short and to the point. We are going to cover up some small basic stuff and wrap it up, since nothing really has happened worthy of discussion. The most important announcement this week is that the stock market will be closed this Friday because of the holiday. The stock market will be closed on Christmas Eve, so we will only be trading 4 days this week. Before we begin with today's content, let me quickly state that I am not a financial advisor, and that all content discussed in this channel is simply information gathered that I deem important for people to know, so that they can make informed decisions. All efforts are aimed to better understand the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Let's get started. Let's begin with the biggest thing this weekend, Spider-Man. The latest entry into the franchise has surpassed every expectation. Spider-Man: No Way Home generated a mammoth $253 million across 4,336 theaters in North America. It was without a doubt the biggest domestic opening weekend turnout of any movie in pandemic times, since prior to it, no other film has been able to even cross $100 million in a single weekend. Initially expected to gross $130 to $150 million, the third chapter into the franchise squashed expectations. Overseas, the Spidey film collected $334.2 million from 60 international markets to bring to total global tally at $587.2 million. This film now ranks as the third biggest worldwide opening, behind Avengers Endgame, which brought $1.2 billion, and Avengers Infinity War, which brought in $640 million. What was even better to hear for AMC investors was what Sony Pictures chairman and CEO Tom Rothman had to say. He stated that this weekend's historic results reaffirm the unmatched cultural impact that exclusive theatrical films can have when they are made and marketed with vision and resolve. You can 100% bet that every other film studio is looking at Spider-Man and will definitely be enticed to continue putting movies on the big screen. AMC was absolutely packed this weekend, and I cannot for the life in me wait for their next quarterly earnings reports. We still have The Matrix release to contend with this week as well. So I know Adam Aaron right now is having a really great day looking at all those numbers. AMC is coming back strong, and it isn't going anywhere but the moon. It will be interesting to see if these numbers of attendance and record breakings will have any impact on the stock price this week, with more institutional investors coming in. I want to quickly talk about real estate and home prices, since it is where Wall Street is parking so much of their cash. Canadian house prices jumped more than 25% in November from a year earlier, a record that was able to be achieved due to the historic supply shortages taking place. The Real Estate Board's chief economist said that the supply issues that they faced going into 2020 became much worse heading into 2021, and are looking to get even more tighter as we move into 2022. With the current ultra-low mortgage rates and demand for large spaces have made Canada one of the hottest housing markets in the world, and add now that the central bank indicated that interest rates will be rising next year with a record flow of immigrants entering the country, buyers seem to have found even better incentives to get into their market. Trudeau has been eyeing the situation, and has recently handed his housing minister a series of tasks, including some that target foreign investors and buyers, in an attempt to make home ownership a reality for more Canadians. The Prime Minister is asking for measures to temporarily ban non-recreational residential sales for foreign buyers, with the attempt to ensure housing does not sit vacant and unavailable to Canadians wanting to buy homes. These instructions came right after the Canadian Real Estate Association said the national average home price was $720,850 in November, and it's projected to reach $739,500 in 2022. It's clear that Wall Street and other foreign investors are heavily tapping into Canada as part of their attempt to gain and control as much of the housing as possible. I am happy to see that at least Canada is attempting to protect their own citizens by raising some measures, even if they aren't enough. Really sad to see how in America, we get thrown out to the wolves in every issue. Stephen Cohen, the hedge fund billionaire and Mets owner, has invested in a crypto startup that aims to launch a stock exchange with 24-hour trading. Cohen's venture capital fund Point72 Ventures is leading a $14 million funding round for 24 Exchanges, a trading platform that wants to bring the non-stop trading of digital currency world to the stock market. The reasoning behind this by founder and CEO of 24 Exchange Dmitry Galanov said that the same PEO0PLE that trade crypto started to trade more stocks because of the GameStop movement, and the overall participation of retail has increased significantly. Then he said if Elon Musk tweets something on Saturday, people would want to sell or buy stock. 24 Exchange also sees strong demand for 24-hour trading among overseas investors, and the company has filed a draft application with the SEC to approve 24-hour trading, expecting a decision for summer 2022. In my opinion, this is a terrible idea, implemented in order to allow big players more and more control and manipulation of prices. Trading in the markets should be opened and closed for everyone at the same times. You can bet shorters want this so that they can take advantage of downtimes during the day to engage in more manipulative tactics. I hope the SEC doesn't go through with this, but given how little they care for retail investors, I think it could totally pass. This week will be really interesting to see how we trade. AMC started bouncing back strong after Monday's huge dip that had AMC test 20.27. Each passing day, AMC has shown that it wants to move up again. This past Friday, AMC ran past 30, a great performance cheered by everyone. With the new Spidey film making headlines everywhere, I think AMC should benefit from the positive press, and we could see new institutional investors jumping in. Keep in mind that this past week's performance was all due to overall poor market conditions, with Omicron, the Fed's poor statements and a huge tech sell-off taking place, erasing a lot of the gains and momentum the stock market had made in general. AMC was affected to a degree, but not terribly, a fact made all the more obvious by its significant jump on Friday. I think AMC will have a lot of resistance built around 32. If we break past this resistance wall by some point before Wednesday, it is likely that we could test 40. By the same token, it is important to note that what we need now more than ever aren't big jumps, but rather steady upwards consolidation. If we are able to build support above $27, it will be a great sign. If we break this support wall, we could test 25 and then 22. I want AMC to make support walls more than ever and continue moving upwards. The biggest challenge facing us right now aside from shorter manipulation are overall market news. As you have seen, the stock market in general has been showing a lot of weakness lately, and the optimism that was so palpable months ago seems to have dissipated as uncertainty of the impact Omicron will have along with the Fed's poor handling of things have left a lot of big investors unconfident. More bad news and growth in cases by Omicron will lead to poorer and weaker markets, so be sure to stay realistic about the entire situation taking place. The entire stock market is in really shaking ground. AMC had the advantage of Spider-Man and the upcoming Matrix movie to bring the stock price up. On the other hand, GameStop doesn't really seem to have any new catalysts coming its way. GameStop also had a really bad Monday followed by a nice upward momentum starting this past Tuesday. After reaching 127.56, GameStop has been making up lost ground. It was able to easily break the 148 resistance wall twice, and on Friday it jumped from 142 to 158, a sign of great strength. It is clear that GameStop should not be trading anywhere current levels, but due to reasons already explained, we are where we are. As such, looking towards this week, I find it likely GameStop will find resistance at 158, 161 and 166. Support will be found at 150, 141 and 135. I want GameStop to consolidate at current levels and build support walls that keep it above 155. It would be great to have it close above 160 this week, and anything above it will be great. The fact that it will be a short week will have an effect on the stock. GameStop received a ridiculous amount of buy orders this past week as it was falling, and I expect this to have a serious consequence for shorters. I am going to try to grab as many tendies as I can while this is relatively cheap. That is all I have for you guys today. Like I said, nothing new or crazy took place. Remember that on Friday, the stock market is closed. I have a question which I asked when I last streamed the GameStop quarterly earnings. For those of you that have been watching my videos for at least 1 month, have I had any impact in you changing your decisions as to what stock you buy? Let's say you were an AMC-only investor or GME-only investor. Has my coverage of both stocks propelled you to invest in the other? Have I made you change your mind completely, resulting in you only owning one stock instead of both or the other? I am curious as to the extent that my videos have influenced your decision-making. If you don't mind, let me know down below what had been your experience and take on this matter. I will be making a couple morning videos this week as well, as there is some important content that needs to be discussed. It's Christmas week, and I hope you guys get to spend some time with your family. I wish you all the best. Hopefully I will see some of you this week. If you want to support this channel, I have a Patreon link in the description as well as some one-time donation links for Cash App and PayPal. Thank you again for being a part of this channel. I will continue striving for better content. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you tomorrow and to the moon.